Bertrand Russell's A History of Western Philosophy is a comprehensive and critical exploration of the development of philosophical thought from ancient Greece to the modern era. The book is divided into three main sections: ancient philosophy, Catholic philosophy, and modern philosophy. In the first section, Russell examines the foundational contributions of pre-Socratic thinkers, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, highlighting how their ideas shaped Western intellectual traditions. He particularly emphasizes Plato's theory of forms and Aristotle's logic and scientific method as enduring influences on Western thought. In the second section, Russell explores the dominance of Christian philosophy during the Middle Ages, particularly the synthesis of Greek philosophy with Christian doctrine by thinkers like Augustine and Aquinas. He critiques the way religious institutions shaped intellectual inquiry, often suppressing scientific and rationalist perspectives. However, he acknowledges the role of medieval philosophy in preserving classical knowledge and setting the stage for the Renaissance and Enlightenment. The third section covers the transition to modern philosophy, beginning with figures like Descartes, Spinoza, and Leibniz, who laid the foundation for rationalism and empiricism. Russell then examines the works of Locke, Berkeley, and Hume, who challenged innate ideas and emphasized the role of experience in shaping knowledge. He also discusses Kant's synthesis of rationalism and empiricism, which influenced later philosophical movements. Russell is particularly critical of 19th and early 20th century philosophers, including Hegel, Nietzsche, and Bergson, whom he accuses of obscurantism and irrationalism. He praises the logical positivist movement and the analytic tradition for their clarity and scientific approach to philosophy. He also explores the impact of philosophy on politics, highlighting how thinkers like Rousseau, Marx, and John Stuart Mill shaped modern democracy, socialism, and liberalism. Throughout the book, Russell maintains a skeptical and often witty perspective, balancing admiration for philosophical achievements with sharp criticism of dogmatism and intellectual arrogance. His work remains one of the most accessible and engaging accounts of Western philosophy, offering both historical insight and a clear demonstration of the relevance of philosophical thought to contemporary life. Life Lessons from a History of Western Philosophy. Question everything and think critically. Russell emphasizes the importance of skepticism and intellectual inquiry. He admires philosophers who challenge prevailing assumptions and seek rational justifications for their beliefs. The lesson here is to avoid blind acceptance of ideas, whether religious, political, or scientific, and to cultivate a habit of questioning and critical thinking. Balance, rationality, and emotion. The book illustrates how Western philosophy has oscillated between extreme rationalism, such as Descartes and Kant, and emotional or existential perspectives like Nietzsche and Bergson. Russell advocates for a balanced approach, valuing reason while acknowledging the emotional and human aspects of life. This teaches us to strive for logical clarity without losing our humanity. Beware of dogmatism in any form. From the dominance of the Catholic Church in the Middle Ages to the rigid ideologies of Marxism and nationalism, Russell warns against systems of thought that discourage questioning and enforce rigid dogma. The lesson is to remain intellectually flexible and open to change rather than adhering blindly to any belief system. Philosophy and politics are deeply connected. Many of the world's political systems, democracy, socialism, liberalism, are rooted in philosophical ideas. Understanding philosophy helps us engage more meaningfully in political and ethical discussions. This lesson encourages us to study the philosophical roots of modern policies and to think deeply about justice, freedom, and governance. Knowledge is both power and responsibility. Russell highlights how philosophical and scientific advancements have shaped civilization. However, he also warns of the dangers of misusing knowledge, particularly in the context of war, oppression, and propaganda. The takeaway is that intellectual growth should be coupled with ethical responsibility, ensuring that knowledge serves the betterment of humanity rather than its destruction.